All right, students, today we're talking about how to display a set of data in a box plot. And you may or may not know what that is, but you will before the day's over. And I'm going to read this problem to you, and then we're going to do it a little bit differently than what the book does today. To track how many raisins are needed for packaging, a quality control inspector at a food processing plant collected data for the number of raisins in small boxes. Describe the data, including minimum value, that would be the lowest, the maximum value, that would be the highest, and the median, that would be the middle. Then describe what you notice about the values between the minimum and the median, and between the median and the maximum. Okay, so here's what all that means, and here's how we're going to do it today. You should have a paper in front of you called 5-Finger Statistics. So I need you to get this paper. And I have already put this data, this set of data right here. I put it in order from least to greatest, and it's right here. So that's already done for you. I need you to take a moment and write that down. Write down this set of data, 25, 25, 26, 27, 27, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 32. I think there's 12 pieces of data. Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that means 6 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right in there, this is the lower half of the data. This is the upper half of the data. Okay? Well, there's 5 things you need to know to build a box plot. Okay, so and we're going to write this on these fingers. This is your minimum. Minimum. That's a kind of a big word for your lowest number. And your thumb over here is going to be your maximum. Maximum, and it's going to be your highest number. Okay? Now, there's 3 things in between. Well, you know the one in the middle this is the median. This is the middle. So it's going to be your median. Okay? Now, we got to learn how to find this one and this one. Okay. Well, if you notice, this is your bottom half of the data. So we found the median right here. Everybody understands that's going to be 27 and a half. Because halfway between 27 and 28, if I average these, your median's going to be 27.5. Do you see that? And by the way, this is your min, which is your low, and this is your max, which is your high. Okay? Here it's short for minimum is min, short for maximum is max. It means the same thing as the low and the high. Okay, now we're going to take the bottom set of data and we're going to find the median again. So we're going to cover up the top half. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So halfway between those 3 and those 3 is going to be called Q1. That means the first fourth of the data. And so right here, this is going to be called Q1. Q sub 1. Okay? And then if we cover up the top half and look at the bottom half, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So here's going to be Q3. Now look what we've done. Everybody knows that 4 fourths make one whole. So we have one whole set of data cut into fourths. Here's 1 fourth, here's 2 fourths, or a half. Here's 3 fourths, and here's 4 fourths. So a fourth, a fourth, a fourth, and a fourth. Makes 4 fourths, all of the data. Okay, so when we found this right here, this was called our median of all the data, and it's really also called Q2. Because here's Q1, Q2, Q3, and this is the max, but it's really Q4. But we call it the max. Okay? So we found the median of all the data. That's the one in the middle. Then we found the median of the bottom half of the data. That's called Q1. Then we found a median again of the upper half of the data, and that's called Q3. So we have a minimum. This is called the first quartile. Quartile. Q-U-A-R-T-I-L-E. The middle is the second quartile. And this one is the third quartile. Quartile means fourth. So this is the median, or it's Q2, and this is the third, so this is Q3. So we have the low, the minimum. We have min, Q1, Q2, Q3, max. This is our 5-finger statistics. Okay? And these are the 5 things you have to draw a box plot. And then we're going to find all these things. Well, Q1 is the average of 26 and 27, which is going to be 26 and a half. 26 and a half. And Q3 is going to be the average of 30 and 31, so it's going to be 30 and a half. And so I could draw my box plot now with that information. Okay? So I've got a minimum of 25. My min is 25. My Q1 is 26 and a half. My median, or my Q2, which is also called my median, is 27 and a half. My Q3 was 30 and a half. And my max, which is my high, was 32. Okay, now I'm going to show you where we're headed today. I'm going to move that right over there, and I'm going to use this information, and I'm going to draw a box plot. Well, I need a number line that goes from about 20 to, I don't know, 35 or 40. Let's go 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. I need equal increments. I need it to cover all these numbers. And then this is going to be a dot. This is going to be a, don't do anything, just watch me. A dot, a line, a line, a line, and a dot. So at 25, I come up above this, I put a dot. At 26 and a half, which is barely going to be past here, is going to be a line. At 27 and a half, which is going to be fairly close to 30, is going to be a line. At 30 and a half, it's going to be just barely past 30. And at 32 is a dot. I close up the box and I attach the lines. I was raised to call these box and whisker. Here was the box and here was the whiskers. Now, let's look and see how much better it would be if I spread that out a little bit more. Let's do 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. Let's spread it a little more. So I want 25, 2, 4, 25 would be right about there. 22, 4, 6 and a half would be right about there. 27 would be right in there right before 28. 30.5 would be a little past. And 32 would be right there. Didn't spread it quite enough still. It still does not look quite enough. Okay? Now, something's got to be a little wrong because this whisker looks longer than this one, and up here this one looks longer than this one. So it would be better if it was spread out further and we get more accurate results. Okay, so this is the point I want to make. This is my low or my minimum value. This is my Q1. This is my median or my Q2, this line. this is my Q3, and this is my max on this end. 5-finger statistics. Okay? Now then, if I didn't know the numbers of raisins in the boxes and I was just looking at this, I want to get where I can look at my box plot and tell you some things about it. So I know this is the median. I know this is the fewest number in the boxes. This is the most number in the boxes. I know 1/4 of my data lies here. 1/4 lies right in there. 1/4 of it lies there, and 1/4 of it lies from that line to the dot. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. They don't have to look even, but 1/4 of the data is in there. Okay, let's put that aside and let's go to example number 1. Keep that laying there where you can see it. Make a box plot. Why is a box plot useful? Because it gives us a picture. Okay, Helen wants to display, let me make that a little bigger now. My hand was too big a while ago, so I had to shrink it. All right, Helen wants to display the lengths of 15 fish she caught this year to compare to the lengths of fish she caught last year. How can she use the data to make a box plot? So we're going to take all of those numbers and we're going to put it, well, first of all, let's read their definition of box plot. Box plot is a diagram that shows the distribution of data values using the median, the quartiles is Q1 and Q3, the minimum and the maximum. This is the low and this is the high, just like I showed you on the 5-finger statistics. Okay, so they took all of those values that was in that chart and they put them in order, 7 to 22. Then they found the median. Let's count them. How many was there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 34. There was 15. So since it was odd, there was an exact middle. That's your median. That's the line that's inside the box. This is going to be the dot on the end. Now I've got to find the line. We've got to find the Q1. So notice how they did that. They left this number out and they said, okay, there's 3 on that side and 3 on that side, so that is my Q1 is 10. They left the 13 out and they said there's 3 here and 3 here, so the 15 is Q3. So this is Q3 and this is Q1. So you've actually found the median 3 times. This is the median of all the data. This is the median of the bottom half of the data. And this is the median of the top half of the data. Okay? Now look at the picture that they drew. They started a little below their lowest with a 6 over here. And this, I call this a dot. They put a line, I call it a dot. Their first quartile was at 10, so there's their first line. This is a line on your box plot. This is a line on your box plot. And this is a line on your box plot. And this is a dot, and this is a dot. A dot, a line, a line, a line, and a dot. A dot, a line, a line, a line, and a dot. Okay? So your Q1 was 10. They put a line at 10. The median, or the Q2, is 13. So they found 13 and put, there's their median or their Q2. Then 15 is another line. And then the maximum was 22. And so then they close up their box and attach the whiskers. Okay? So we're going to draw the box plot. Show a number line with an appropriate scale. Appropriate scale has to include all these numbers with equal increments. Let me say that again. It has to include all these numbers but have equal increments. You don't have to show 0 on here. We know 0 is off over here somewhere. That's okay. But you've got to include all of these. Go a little below and a little past. They went one below and one past. But these have to be equal increments. Okay? Now, what I need you to understand, really understand, I'm going to do it with highlighters. From the dot to the end of this box, I want to do it in blue. That's the 1/4 of the data. From the first line to the second line is 1/4 of the data, or 25%. From the line to the last line is another 25%, another fourth. And from the end of the box out to the last dot is another fourth. So this is a fourth of your data, or 25%. This green is a fourth of your data, or another 25%. This is a fourth of your data, or another 25%. And this is a fourth of your data, and the last 25%. Notice the percents don't look equal, but we're talking pieces of data, so they are equal. Now this adds up to 100%. This adds up to 4/4. So if I ask you the question, was 18 in the lower 25% or the upper 25%? Well, 18's right here, so it was in the upper 25%. Or is 11 below the median or above the median? Well, this is the median right here, so 11 is below the median. So I could ask you all kinds of questions about a box plot, and you have to know what all of these pieces are. Here's your little finger, your ring finger, your middle finger, median, your index finger, and your thumb. 5 finger statistics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's what you have to draw a box plot. Okay? We're going to skip that try it because we've already done the 5 finger statistics. So go to example number 2. Making a box plot when the number of values is an even number. Now on that last one we had an odd number. It was 15. So let me show you. Pay attention. Pay attention what to do when it's an even amount of data numbers. Alright, so we're going to do everything the same. This is fundraiser money. And we're going to go find the minimum, the median, the maximum, and the quartiles, the first and the third quartiles. Got to have 5 things, remember? And so they're going to take all of these numbers and they're going to put them in order right here. All right, so follow me. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we have an even number of values. So we have to average these two, okay, to get the median. All right. Now then, when we go to work on the quartiles, while ago, see where those lines come together? We're going to use all of those numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to have to average these two to get Q1. There's no number left out here. So we're going to go right there and we're going to average these two to get Q3. Third quartile, same as Q3. Now let me show you what happened over here. When we were doing this one, we left that number completely out. That was our median. We left it completely out. And we used all the ones below it. And when we turned around, we left it out again and used those because it was an odd number. We don't have an odd number this time. We have an even number. So nothing is left out. You use the bottom half, find the median again. You use the upper half, find the median again. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. Okay, we're going to do the very same thing. And on our box plot over here, so we got a minimum. So 10 is our minimum. That's our dot. First quartile is 20. That's a line. Second quartile, or the median, is 30. The median's always going to be inside the box. Okay. The third quartile is going to be my other line. So this is Q1. This is the median. This is Q3. And this is my dot at the end is my maximum. My low, my high, Q1, median, Q3. Median is also Q2. You need to know that. First quartile, first fourth, second fourth, third fourth, fourth fourth. Okay. Example 3. We actually get to do one. Example 3. The box plot is there. Now they're going to ask us some questions. The minimum is 8. So the lightest bag, how do I know it's a bag? Well, you always have to name it. Bags of donated clothing, and this is pounds per bag. So this means there's 8 pounds, 12 pounds, looks like 15 and 18 and 20. Okay, so the minimum is 8, so the lightest bag weighs 8 pounds. The maximum is 20, so the heaviest bag weighs 20 pounds. The median weight for the bags is about 17. See right there? There's my median. I know where to look for it. The first quartile is 12 pounds because that's this end of the box. And the third quartile is 18 because it's that end of the box. And that's the things you're supposed to know about a box plot or a box and whisker. Okay? We're going to try it. The ages of 12 volunteers participating in a beach cleanup are shown. All right, so we got to put these in order. Looks like 9 is the smallest, and I have 1, 2, 3 of those. And then I have, there's 15 and 15. Looks like I have 1, 2, 3 15s. 15, 15, 15. 27. So there's a 21. There's 3 21s. 21, 21. 21, 20. Oh, there's 4 21s. And then I have a 24 and a 27. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 pieces of data. Now, I don't need to find the mode. I don't need to find the mean if I'm drawing a box plot. I don't need that. I need to go find the quartiles. Okay, so I have 12 pieces of data. That means 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is in the upper half. 6 is in the lower half. So I need to average these two for my median. So what is 15 plus 21 divided by 2 is 18. So I got my median. Now then, if you remember what I told you, we're going to cover up the upper half. We're going to go find the median again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, I'd usually draw a little line there. I'm going to average these two for my Q1. So 9 plus 15 equals, divide by 2, is 12. Then I'm going to cover up the lower half of the data to that middle line, because it's even. And 1, 2, 3, well, it's the same on each side of the line, so Q3 is 21. Now, if you remember, this is going to be a dot. I need from 9 to 30. I'm going to use that little line right there. Let's start this at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I need a dot at 9. So right before 10, I'll back up just a little, there's a dot. At 12 is my Q1, it's my first line. So at halfway between, it's a little below halfway. Then I need 18 for my median, so it's going to be right about in there. And I need 21, just a little past 20 for my other line. And I need 27 for my last dot. So I'm going to close up my box, attach my lines, my whiskers. I like box and whisker better than box plots. Okay, so there we have it. I have to go by the lowest, Q1, median, Q3, and my highest. Minimum, quartile 1, quartile 2 or median, quartile 3 and maximum. Okay? All right. Make sure when you draw your number lines, you have all these numbers covered, you have it spread out enough, and you have equal increments on your number line. Key concept. There it is. 5-finger statistics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Do you understand? Why is a box plot useful for representing certain types of data? Why do you think? Okay, it shows the minimum and the maximum easily, and how the data is spread into quarters, fourths, or percentages. It shows the minimum and the maximum easily. That's the 2 dots. And how the data is spread into fourths. Number 2, what values are included inside the box? Okay, so my box has got the middle. The box includes the middle 50%. It shows Q1 through Q3. It also shows the median. There's a lot of information in the box. And then I would draw one. This is Q1, this is the median, this is Q3. In case you thought they might not understand what you were saying, then you show them. State test, your teacher's test, anything. All right, let's go to number 3. A box plot shows distribution of the costs of used books. The box of the box plot starts at $2. $2 right here, and it ends at $5. Alex says this means that about 1/4 of the books cost between $2 and $5. Is he correct? No, he is not. There is 2/4. This is a fourth, this is a fourth, this is a fourth, and this is a fourth. He's saying that between 2 and 5 is 1/4. No, it's 2/4 or 50% of the data. Half the data is the box. A fourth of the data is this whisker, a fourth is this whisker. So there's 25%, 25%, and the whole box is 50%. All right, let's go to number 4. We're going to look at those scores and we're going to decide what is the minimum and the maximum. I'm going to write the minimum right under minimum, the maximum right under maximum. Let's see, 79, 75, 73, 85. Looks like 73 is the minimum. Looking through there, I don't think I saw anything higher than 90. So 90 is the maximum. Find the median. Well, we've got to list them in order. So we're going to start with 73. We're going to mark it out slightly. Let's see, I see a 75. I see a 78, two 78s. I see a 79, two 82s, an 85, and a 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the fifth one, there's 9 pieces of data. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the fifth piece, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what's the median? It's 79. It's the one I circled. Okay, since it's an odd, we're not going to use that 79. We're going to look below it, because on number 6 we're going to find Q1 and Q3. So we're going to go find the median again. So we're going to leave out that 79. There's 4 pieces of data, so I've got to average these two. What's the average of 75 and 78? 75 plus 78 equals, divide by 2, 76 and a half. So Q1 is 76 and a half. All right? Now we're going to leave that out again, and we're going to average these two. 82 plus 85 equals, divide by 2, 83 and a half. So Q3 is 83 and a half. So when you have an odd number of pieces of data, you leave the median out when you're finding Q1 and Q3. When it's an even number of data, there's no number left out. You take the bottom half and the top half. Oh, draw a box plot. So we need numbers that go from 73 to 90. Okay, so let's draw us a little number line. Number lines always have arrowheads. And let's just start with 70. That gets us past this a little bit. And let's go 75, 80, 85, 90, and 95. That gets us a little past this end. So 73 is a dot. So 73 would be right about there. And my Q1 is 76 and a half. It's going to be a little past 75, so that's a line. My median was 79. It's up here in number 5. It's just almost to 80. That's a line. My Q3 is 83 and a half, so it's going to be a little past the halfway mark there. Close up our box. And 90 is down here as our maximum. So attach our lines, and there you have your box plot. That matches that set of data. Okay, now I think we need to see number 7 while we're doing number 8. So Eric is in Sarah's class. This box plot shows his scores on the same 9 weeks test. How do Eric's scores compare to Sarah's? Well, let's see. Sarah's lowest was 73. His was 70. Okay, so Eric minimum is lower. Let's see. Eric's median was 85 and hers was 79. His median was higher. Let's see, his was a 90 and hers was a 90. And their maximum was the same. And you could also say something about the quartiles if you'd like. His first quartile was higher than hers, and looks like his third quartile was higher than hers. Let's say that also. His first and third quartiles were higher than hers. And we can tell all of that from comparing the two box plots. Okay, I hope the five-fingered statistics helps you. We've done an example with an even amount of data. We've done an example with an odd amount of data. This video is quite lengthy, so I'm going to turn you loose to work on your practice and problem solving and pay attention to what is what, get the correct. You always put it in order from least to greatest to do this. Always. For box plots, you have to always rank your data from least to greatest. Okay, get started, and I'll see you next time.